guys, it is Tanya, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with kind of a weird build. It's sort of like a tag or challenge or something that I think I created. I'm not sure if this exists already. If it does, then credit out to whoever created it. If not, then I guess I'll claim it. It's just something I wanted to do, and I thought I would challenge some other people to do it as well because it sounded like fun. This is the things I never use build. Basically just creating a small family home of whatever size you want, just not too big. I think this has 2 bedrooms, but like a family styled home, I guess, but using objects in the game that you personally just never click on. Like, you have go-to items, and then you have ones that you just never click on. And I really wanted to try and do this because there's a lot of stuff I never use. So I tried to use wallpapers I never use, windows I never use, roof trims I never use, columns I never use, doors I never use, well, like literally everything, couches, counters, any object. I'm like, okay, well, what here do I never use? And then I tried to use it. Obviously, there's some stuff that, like, I've used a little bit, not, like, a lot, though, but I've tried to use stuff that I never use, and, there's a little bit mixed in of stuff that occasionally gets used. But there's a bunch of windows in here, not those ones, although I have never used those windows ever before. I do change them, and the windows we put in are ones that never in my life have I even clicked on. So I'm really excited about that. But I thought this would be a really fun challenge, and I apologize if my voice is any kind of weird or anything. I woke up like 5 minutes ago, and I woke up really late. I was supposed to get up 3 hours ago, and here we are. So good morning. Although I think this goes up in the afternoon. So good afternoon to you guys, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. Oh my gosh. But anyway, we also changed the roof color, and the outside changes a lot. We're about to add a little out jut here on the top of the build, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Oh god. But anyway, I thought this was a really, really fun little challenge to do. It's just a little something different. It's not too different in, like, general style than other houses I built. I feel like a lot of my houses kind of look like this when I build a very small home. But the objects I used are different, which was the fun part and the main reason I wanted to do it. We tried using this white up and down paper, and we do change it at the very end, but we stick with it for a while. And then we changed the what's it called? Roof paneling to this. It's a dark color, which is something I normally use, but I don't think I've ever used that pattern in, like, ever. It's interesting. Like, the red one we had in the beginning is something I also never used, but I didn't want it to just look completely like a clash of items that don't go together at all. I wanted it to be me using items I never use and attempting to make it look okay. And inside, some of it I feel like clashes a little bit, but I tried. And I'm sure I'll get better at it if I continue trying to use some of these items. And I think that's kind of the point of the challenge, to be like, oh, I didn't realize I had this, or why don't I ever use this? This looks kind of cool. I don't know, but the inside clashes a little bit, and the floor plan on the bottom floor is, like, really open plan, which was unexpected. I feel like that's something I would have done in a more modern build, but you know what, whatever. Like, the bathroom's, like, floating in the middle of the room, and that's the separation between the kitchen and the living room. Put the stairs over here. Our little extra room on the side isn't an office or a bathroom or a bedroom or anything. It's a DJ room, because why not? I've never done that before. I don't think I've ever placed a DJ station in a house unless it was, like, in a teenager's bedroom, which I'm pretty sure I have. But, like, it's been a really long time since I placed that in someone's house. Maybe I should make a dance club sometime soon. Let me know down below if I should make, like, a dance club or whatever for your Sims to go out to and have, like, a DJ booth and, you know, try and make it pretty cool. I'm open to that. I think that could be really fun. Just let me know what you guys think. But anyway, up here we're trying to section off. I wanted to fit a bathroom up there, but then I realized that I forgot that part of the windows were kind of cut off, so oops. And then this is where we're adding the bathroom. It ends up being this weird shape because that's the smallest you can make a bathroom to have it fully functional with a shower, sink, and toilet. So that's what we went ahead and did, and just left that in the middle here. I used this paper on it that I don't think I've ever used. It's interesting. And I used a wood floor I never used on the other side. I've used this tile before, but I don't use it often because I'm not a big fan. And I've used most of the tiles before, so I'd never used this wood before, but we actually changed this for a darker reddish wood as well at the end, but I also had never used that wood, because I always go for like a more brown wood, not like a yellow wood, or not a red wood, but if it's a red wood, I usually go for the basketball flooring. I don't know, it's just, I guess it's personal preference when it comes down to it, but this was all about trying to use things that I don't typically use, so we went ahead and switched that. Have a little not counter, well, I mean, it is a counter island in the middle here, but we don't put any seats at it, and then there's a round table by the windows as well. That ends up using, I don't remember what chairs I use as. They're from the movie night one. They usually come in like crazy funky colors, but they come in like one plain swatch, and I used those. So we should be placing that down there. There's the table, and I wanted to use that milk jug that I've never used before. And then I used these chairs and put a little plant up there that I also never use, because I always use like flowers in a vase, or like there's certain plants I just have a preference for, and I pretty much never click on that one. I think I might have used it a couple weeks ago when I built that shed, but like in houses I never used it, so I thought it would fit in fine because I use most of the plants. It needed to be like it made sense. I couldn't just put a giant plant the size of the table on the table, because I was trying to make this place look halfway decent, and I do think it looks a little funky and like not everything matches. But I think that's just natural when you build something using items that you're not used to using and trying to make them work together. I'm sure if I continue using these items, I will get better at making everything match. And if you decide to do this as well, I'm sure you will too. Also, if anyone does this, please tag me on Twitter so I can see what you guys have done, because it's been really fun doing this, and I'd love to see what everyone else uses. And also, I'd be very interested to know what items other people never use, and how many items I've put in here that you're like, but I use that all the time, and I'm like, well, I don't. Like, I don't know, it's like not my go-to items. Like, I almost never use these couches. And the rug, that's a vampire rug. I don't use it often. I think I've used it in my vampire build, but like I've never used it other than that, but it's kind of nice, so I put it in there. I've never used these curtains ever, I don't think. So that was interesting. I've used this mirror maybe once or twice. I don't think I've ever used this, that table or that weird plant. Like, those are definitely new items for me. I didn't even know this bookcase existed. It's in, you have to unlock it through your career, so that's probably why. And then this is the weird little DJ room I did for whatever reason. I was just like, oh, a DJ booth, I want to put this in. I don't know what this room's gonna be. It could have been an office, but you know what? No, we're gonna DJ and put some brick on this wall, and we'll put a rug, and the room's done, yay. So simple. I put a pool out here, and then I put pool trim on it that I don't normally use, and painted the inside. Really dark colors, so that it was just a little bit different than pools I typically make. And then up here, I used a bed I don't use, and another bed I don't use. And I made that like a kid's room, so it was hard to use items that you don't already use, because there's not that many kids things. But I don't think I've used that wallpaper, and I haven't used this wallpaper either, the one in this room. And I never use this painting of this kid, because it creeps me out, because I'm like, I don't want a random kid just looking at me. So I don't think I've ever used that painting. I mean, I would if I ever did like a kind of creepy house, probably, because I think it's a creepy picture, but I haven't used it yet, so, oh boy. I thought it was a good idea to use that, because it looks like a relatively normal picture, but I just never use it. I don't use these often enough. I like them, but I just never remember to use them, and I don't feel like they really match in this room. Like I said, I think I got a little mismatchy in this house because it was trying to mix a bunch of different styles together, and I think that's naturally what's going to happen, because if you're using only things you don't use, they're probably from a mix of styles, so it's going to just be an interesting time. So like, if you decide to do this, I think a family style home would be good, or I mean maybe a modern home as well, just something small, like 2 bedrooms or less for this challenge, so it's not too overwhelming, and also if you don't have a lot of items you don't normally use, it won't be too crazy, but it'd be really interesting to see how you decorate different homes using the items you don't use. I just want to know if like the items I use are like other people's go-to items, or the things that other people use are like things I would never touch, or I don't know. Or they don't use it, but I'm like, but I use that every single build. Like silly things, like I put up the cutting board on the wall in the kitchen, and I know it's there, and I keep wanting to use it, and I always forget it's there. So I've never used it in a build before, because I forget. I mean, I used it for something. I think I might have hung it outside the build of my apartment to pretend to be a mailbox or something. But, like, I've never used it that was the only time I've ever used it. And I've never used it as a cutting board because I forget about it. So, silly things like that just kind of happen. Oh well, and then these are all trees I typically don't use, so that was kind of fun. And this terrain paint I don't normally use either. And then I didn't keep these bushes, but I kept the idea of having big ones at the edge of the lot, which is something I don't normally do. And I don't know, it's just weird. I used all kinds of landscaping I don't normally do. And then we put like a jungle gym or climbing frame in the backyard, the one that has like the flowers and stuff on it, which I never use because I think of it as more for like a fancy garden or something. But I was just like, you know what, whatever, we'll do that. We tried a wedding arch first, but we ended up putting this back there because I thought it was kind of cute and it'd be nice for the kiddos. And then we put a bunch of flowers over here. And we used rocks, which I use a lot, but I don't normally use them in the blue color, and I actually kind of really like it. It's just a little bit different than normal, and I love the way those came out. I tried these bushes, but they looked too fake to me, so we did these ones instead, and we got rid of all the dirt. And just kind of did the same idea that we had before, and I think we switched out the twisty tree in the front yard as well for something that makes a little bit more sense. Oh gosh. I don't know, this might be like a complete mess. You might be like, what the heck is this, Tanya? Because it looks really funky because nothing, like, the styles don't match and stuff. But I think that's just naturally what's going to happen if you do a challenge like this. And it's definitely a lot of fun, and you guys should do it. Also, if you want to download this house, it is available right now on the Sims 4 gallery by searching Gryphi or the hashtag MsGryphi. I'll see you guys next time. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.